Hello everyone and welcome back to Dungeons & Death Battles, the series where we search for the most lethal monster in all of Dungeons & Dragons. The rules are simple. The fight takes place in the arena, fighters start 30 feet apart, there is no fleeing the arena, and it's a victory by kill only. In this second season of Dungeons & Death Battles, 16 deadly dungeon denizens will be facing off against each other until we find the most barbaric of the bunch.
Today we have a fight nearly 2 seasons in the making, as Season 1's champion, the undefeated animated armor, will be taking on the arcane reject that is the Nothic in another battle to the death. Now, as voted on by the community over on Patreon, the animated armor will be facing this battle with its raw stat block. This does mean that it will not be getting any upgrades, and the CR1 monster will be going toe-to-toe with the CR2 Nothic. So let's get a quick stat breakdown for these barbaric brawlers. The animated armor is coming in with an average hit point pool of 33 points, a punishing multi-attack, as well as that incredible 18 AC, which helped crown it as Season 1's champion. The Nothic, on the other hand, has the clear hit point advantage with 45, but drops down to just 15 AC, although this is still quite respectable. The Nothic also has a multi-attack which it can use to make 2 claw attacks, while also possessing the Rotting Gaze ability, which it can use to inflict some serious necrotic damage on a failed save. So enough of our analysis, it's time to roll for initiative, starting with the animated armor and its +0 modifier. So rolling in animated armor, let's see if we can make a good start here, and that is a 7 + 0, making 7. Could have definitely been better there from the animated armor. So let's see if the Nothic can roll in now and push itself into first place with its +3 modifier. And it's achieved it with a 10 +3 for 13, which does mean that the Nothic is going to be kicking things off here in this battle. And so first things first, the Nothic is going to make use of its Rotting Gaze ability, in which the Nothic targets one creature it can see within 30 feet of it. Target must succeed on a DC 12 Constitution saving throw against this magic, or take 3d6 points of necrotic damage. So we've got the first save coming through for the animated armor. It does have a +1 to Constitution, once again looking to beat a DC of 12, and that is a 19 +1 for 20, which does mean that the animated armor simply shrugs off that magical attack. The Nothic, however, is no fool, and it is going to use its 30 feet of movement to retreat further away from the animated armor, trying to keep as much distance between itself and the semi-sentient suit as possible. And that is going to close out the Nothic's first turn, and that does hand over to the animated armor, which is now going to use a dash action to attempt to close the gap between itself and the aberration standing in front of it. And now with 25 feet of movement speed, the animated armor can dash up to 50 feet, and that is going to leave it just out of reach of the Nothic after that first dash. Quite possibly all part of the Mad Monster's plan. And now we are going to hand it back over to the Nothic, which after the failure of its first Rotting Gaze attack, is going to change its tune and is going to instead come into melee range and get a couple of claw attacks off. It does maintain the turn advantage, having made sure that the animated armor could not reach it upon its own turn, and the Nothic is going to be happy enough with that, odds still within its favor, and it's going to move in for its first multi-attack. And so moving in, Nothic coming through with its first claw attack, animated armor, an armor class of 18, so Nothic is looking for a 14 or higher on this roll. And a natural 20 is going to do it. The Nothic certainly does mean business. Even though it can't strike with its Rotting Gaze, the claws are absolutely coming in. It's used its time carefully to analyze the animated armor's weak points, and oh boy, has it just found some of them. And so now we are going to be rolling in with 2d6 +3 points of slashing damage. Absolutely solid stuff from the Nothic. Let's see what damage we get. There's a 1 and a 4 for 5, +3 for 8 points of slashing damage, which is going to bring the animated armor down to 25 hit points after that first strike. And the Nothic isn't done there, as it is going to come in with that second attack, and that is a 3 +4 for 7, which is certainly not going to be the animated armor's armor class. And that does mean that we do now hand back over to the construct, which in its single-minded motions is going to come in with its very own multi-attack. Now animated armor looking to beat an AC of 15 here with its +4. So coming in with that first, that is going to be a 4 +4 for 8, so not going to do it, but second attack coming in. But a 14 is, so 14 +4 for 18, cleaving straight through the Nothic's armor there. So let's get some damage on the board. Now 1d6 +2 bludgeoning damage rolling in. No resistances from either of these guys. And a 4 +2 is going to make 6, which is going to drop the Nothic down to 39 hit points. These guys going blow for blow in this second round of combat. And now that does mean we are going to hand it back over to the Nothic, which after the success of its claw attack is going to continue on with that strategy for now. So we're going to get a couple more rolls in here. And again, a 17 +4 for 21 is going to break through the the animated armor's defenses. Rolling in a single d6 of damage this time, with a 1, again, not looking great. However, at least it's damage on the table, and a 1 plus 3 for 4 is going to reduce the animated armor down to 21 hit points. But of course, we do still have that second Nothic claw attack, which is rolling in with a 9 plus 4 for 13. Again, unfortunately, not going to make the cut this time. Single attacks seem to be the order of the day here from these guys. Let's see if the animated armor can flip the script, as we pass back over to the suit, as it makes 2 slam attacks against the Nothic. And 17 for the animated armor as well, which is going to definitely connect with that 17 plus 4 for 21. So animated armor rolling in that first bit of damage. With a 5, much better. That is what it's after. With 5 plus 2 for 7 points of damage, bringing the Nothic down to 32 hit points after that first strike. And of course, we do have the second attack, which is going to be coming through right now. Can the animated armor change it up and actually land 2 hits in this round? Turns out that no, it cannot, with a 4 plus 4 for 8, totally missing the Nothic there. And now the Nothic does sense that it has a slight advantage here, and it is going to attempt to do something a little bit different. And once again, it is going to go in with a rotting gaze attack. Again, forcing that animated armor to make a constitution saving throw. DC 12 again on this, as the Nothic stares menacingly into what it perceives as the animated armor's very soul. And the animated armor has rolled in with a 6 plus 1 for 7, which does mean that it has failed its constitution saving throw, as the animated armor is now going to be taking a bombardment of 3d6 points of necrotic damage. So 3d6 points of necrotic damage coming in hot as the Nothic's rotting gaze begins to rust through that animated armor's carapace. That's a 4 and a 5 for 9 plus 3 for 12 points of necrotic damage right there. And so it does look like the Nothic's gambit has paid off here, reducing the animated armor down to just 9 hit points. And the animated armor will be feeling this as its joints start to corrode and rust. A bit of WD-40 would go a long way right now in the arena, but unfortunately outside aid is not allowed. But that is going to end the Nothic's turn, and the animated armor is going to be moving in with yet 2 more slam attacks. So let's see what it can do. And that is an 18 plus 4 for 22, which is going to strike true. So once again, coming in with that 1d6 plus 2. And again, a 5. The animated armor is rolling well on damage, and that is a 5 plus 2 for yet again 7 points of damage, dropping the Nothic down to 25 hit points. And the animated armor will be coming through with its second attack, with a 10 plus 4, just not cutting through. Nothic's armor class, of course, 15, meaning that that one just slides away from it. Now the Nothic does have a choice here. Does it go for Rotting Gaze once again to inflict that massive damage, or will it go in for 2 claw attacks and try and double down on the damage there? I think from previous success, the Rotting Gaze is looking pretty good right now for the Nothic, and it is going to go in with another attempt at that. That eyeball lighting up once again, looking to corrode and rust away even more of that animated armor. So animated armor rolling in with it, another constitution saving throw. Again, a plus 1 to this. And a 12 dead on the money, plus 1 for 13 means that it does save this time. Nothic clearly isn't going to be too happy with that result, as the animated armor simply pushes on through. And that does mean that it is able to make 2 more slam attacks against the Nothic, and that's a 13 plus 4 for 17, which is going to do it. So rolling in that first point of damage yet again, and a 3 plus 2 for 5, it's going to bring the Nothic down to 20 hit points. Animated armor just continuing to chip away at its foe here, as it comes in with that second attack. But a 3, once again, I don't think there's been a single instance where 2 attacks have been landed in a row this battle, and so we continue on, handing back over to the Nothic, which is once again going to switch up its options and go in with its claws. So first claw attack rolling through, and that isn't going to do it, with a 9 plus 4 only making 13. Once again, second attack coming through, and a 2 also not going to do it, only bringing that up to 6. As we quick fire handover back to the animated armor, these guys now just going blow for blow against each other. So rolling in animated armor with its plus 4, and that is a 12 plus 4 for 16, which once again is going to break through that Nothic's armor. Let's get some damage on the board. 5 yet again. This animated armor is loving its 5s. Again, plus that 2 for 7 points of damage. Nothic is starting to not look too hot, as that second attack is going to be rolling through right now. And once again, following true to form, an 8 plus 4 makes 12, which does not beat 15. Animated armor once again falling short on that second attack and handing back over to the Nothic, which has weighed up the situation and is going to continue on with its rotting gaze attack. Again, eyeball firing up, looking to corrode that animated armor even more. Animated armor rolling in with its save once again, looking for an 11 or higher on this dice. But a 9 plus 1 for 10 does mean that that is going to fail its constitution saving throw, which is going to leave it susceptible once again to that 3d6 point barrage of necrotic damage. Let's see how much damage its ocular appendage is able to inflict upon the animated armor. This could be it. It could all be over right here. And that looks like it's going to do it. With a 6 and a 5 for 11, plus that 3 there for 14 total. That is going to be plenty to cleave through the rest of the animated armor's remaining hit points, which is going to put it out of the competition. The animated armor had an incredible run here on Dungeons & Death Battles, making it all the way to the grand position of Arena Champion, but alas, it was unfortunately not able able to breach the qualifying round of the CR2 season, although it did put up a respectable fight against the Nothic, dropping it well below the 50% hit point mark. But with all that aside, that does mean that the Nothic is going to be rising up into the quarterfinals of Dungeons & Death Battle Season 2, where it will be facing off against the Spine Devil in a future battle. And so, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here today, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. We do also have a Patreon with both free and paid tiers, so why not head over there and check out some channel extras. And with all that said, I hope you'll join me in the arena next time when Jurassic's finest, the Allosaurus, will be taking on the undead powerhouse that is the Ghast in yet another bout of glorious D20 combat.